On a rainy day like this one, I love to read if time allows. There is nothing more fulfilling than being present whilst immersing into the ravishing canvas the author so vividly paints in my mind. At that moment, a new universe is born. People, time, and space are created through a new point of view. It's like a mise en abyme, like a dimension within a dimension, where people are disagreeing, where tragedies happen in the blink of an eye, where something must be done to restore a long-awaited peace. All this comes into existence at the time the mind creates them. It's so interesting to take the point of view of a character that so strongly feels to be me. Sometimes the invitation to meditate arises when I read. I gladly accept it and sit in the way I learned at the Zen temple, where I found lasting happiness. I feel sleepy. No, coffee is better. Through meditation, I found freedom from the most dreadfully critical judge that was my mind, freedom from being somebody, freedom to be who I am. In a sense, that's why I love reading novels, because it's like an exercise through which I can see how the mind takes the point of view of the characters, whilst being intrinsically free from them. Some I like and think they are worth all the kindness and love in the world. Some I don't like so much and fear the outcome of their rage. I see how my mind develops all sorts of thoughts, how to protect the people in the story, or how to control things for everybody to be happy and free from the tragedy about to happen. Isn't it the same in real life? Doesn't the mind live in a story where good and bad people exist? Where I, the protagonist, need to protect myself and others from being diminished by different possible outcomes, be it a job, a beautiful woman or a man, wealth, reputation, and so on. If the character doesn't get them, it feels miserable, diminished. How can it be happy since it doesn't have what it believes will bring happiness? How can it be happy if it's trapped in a story? Do you see? In the same way, when I meditated, I mistook myself to be a character that needed something else to be happy, such as a nap, or, ironically, even the opposite, a coffee. What was present wasn't good enough. It was declared unsatisfactory. If I wouldn't have seen those image-like thoughts as being thoughts, I would have listened to them even if a while ago I felt like meditating. Nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly okay to satisfy these needs. I found that the issue arises when all I do is listen to those needs and jump from one thing to another, continuously chasing happiness. Or when I experience those other image-like thoughts that made my heart race because of the strong disagreement I was listening to. If I wouldn't have seen them as simply thoughts popping up, I would have entered that story as a character trying to calm down the situation and protect my feelings. I would have vividly experienced all the exchange of replicas together with the harsh reactions and gesticulations. At that moment, a new universe would have been born. People, time, and space would have been created through a new point of view, like a mist in a beam, like a dimension within a dimension where people are disagreeing, where tragedies happen in the blink of an eye, where something must be done to restore a long-awaited peace. The only reality was the one where I sat and meditated, was aware of being aware, and had some thoughts about a disagreement that for a moment I mistook to be reality. I find peace and happiness in everyday life through knowing who I am in each moment, not by being the protagonist in the story presented to me by thoughts, but by being here and now in the openness of what is, in the awareness of the ever-present now. A deeper and deeper world of meaning is enriching my life and informs me what to do. It flows through me and it nourishes the wisdom out of which actions arise. Of course, that doesn't mean a life that is always pink and unrealistically optimistic. If a sad event happens, sadness is present, and it can be there by all means. It would be totally unnatural and inappropriate if there wouldn't be. But what is not present is a dwelling on the sadness, a pulling into a story where reality should be different. Living without a story, without a protagonist, or a sense of being a separate self is peace and happiness. Everything is as it is, allowed to be as it is. Reality is present in awareness, just as when I closed my eyes and meditated. All that was present was the sound of the rain, the black color of my closed eyelids, my heartbeats and thoughts. If you would like to discover the peace and happiness that effortlessly lie in you, know yourself as you are, not as a protagonist that is trapped in a story, but as the one that sees the story, knowing that it's always already free. And the wisdom as old as the universe will flow through you, and which is life itself. Hope to see you next week. Sending my love.